What's up everyone, Tim from Everyday Tactical Vids here, taking a look at a product from Schrade. This is one of their tough tools, and you can see it's the ST1NB Schrade Tough Tool in black titanium. This is one of their multi-tools. It does come with this included pouch, which is tan and black. And on the back you can see you have your belt loop there. Open it up, take out your multi-tool, and just take a look at it real quick. Turn it around here. And as far as multi-tools go, the thing that makes this a little bit more unique compared to most multi-tools is that all the tools are here on the back of the handle. For the majority of multi-tools, you're going to pull the tools out of the side like this. But for the Schrade Tough Tool, they do come out of the back there. So here's a look at it when it's all set up and ready to go. Let's take a look at it a little bit more in depth. So some of the details as we start here. First off, your cost. In my research, it's running between $15 and $20 or $22, which is quite reasonable for a multi-tool of this size. So just keep that in mind when you go out to purchase this. That's what you'll be paying. Your weight is 8.1 ounces. Close length, 4.8 inches. Overall length is 7.0 inches. And this is the Teflon coated stainless steel one in black. The blade material is 400 series stainless steel. And they do note that the sheath is included, which I have shown you already. Let's start off by talking about the pliers a little bit. Some multi-tools do have pliers that are spring-loaded. These are not. You can see we do have the wire cutters here, and then they're textured both in the center and all the way up to the tip as well. Flipping it over to the other side here, you can see the back of the wire cutters, and I will note that these are not removable. On some multi-tools, you can take out the wire cutters to replace them, but that is not possible with the Schrade multi-tool. So if you do want to sharpen them up, you're going to have to find a way to do that with them still attached to the multi-tool. All right, let's talk through the tools. First one you can see here, obviously, is a pair of scissors. And they do have this little spring-like mechanism here. It's basically just a tension rod that forces it to open close. Some of the real cheap multi-tools out there don't even have that, so you're doing this and having to pull them back apart and do this. Next up we have the saw. Total size is about 2 3/4 inches, but your actual blade for cutting is just about 2 inches, you can see there. And this, as well as a couple of the other tools, actually lock into place, and I'll show you that feature at the end, but pretty aggressive teeth for the saw that comes with the multi-tool. So here's how you actually put the saw away. It locks into place, so for some of the tools you just put a little pressure down and they'll close, but for the saw that will not happen. So no matter how hard you press, either way, it will not release the saw. What you have to do is you have this little, on both these, you have these two little bumps that stick up that are connected to some of the tools, which we'll talk about, but you depress them and that actually releases the saw so you can close it up. Next up we have the serrated blade, and this is the little bump I was talking about. When this is in the closed position, that's what you'll be pressing to release some of the other tools. So I'll just show you this up close here. That's one side, and then the other side you can see serrated here, and then plain edge up a little further. Next up you can see here the flathead screwdriver, and this is another one of the tools that locks into place. I'll show you that in a moment. And the other side you can see here you have a wire stripper built in toward the bottom of that screwdriver, and then again you're going to depress this little bump here on the serrated blade to release that. If you don't do that, it's firmly locked into place. So again, depress this, swing it down, and now it's put away. Next up we have this item, and let me just shoot straight with you guys. This is included on a lot of multi-tools, and most people call it a awl, A-W-L. And you can use this for a variety of purposes. It could certainly double as you can see the tip is very small here. You could use it for also a very small flathead screwdriver. Not nearly as small as like an eyeglass repair kit, but a small flathead screwdriver. But in this multi-tool, they include 3 items which are a little obscure. So they include what they call a scribe, an awl, and a leather bore. So generally I would call this the awl. And then, but you also have these items over here. And the back side of this, you can see there's a little bit of a blade there. So I'd love to hear your comments on this. I've been digging around for a while doing some research on this and have not found a clear description of those 3 different types of items. But clearly this could be used to punch through leather or some other sort of material without having to use a knife tip or something that's sharp. So that could be certainly one purpose for this. And we'll talk about this item when we get to the other side. Over on the other side, first item is a file here. And you can see it's kind of a pattern, cross pattern, checkered texture. And then this is just all in one direction. You also do have a little notch here. I saw one guy describe this as possibly a hook remover. but this certainly could have a variety of different functions. One thing to note is that if you do get this under something and try prying up, just because of the way this locks, it'll lock fine this way, but if you try to pry the other way, this will fold down like so. Here's your plain edge blade. As you can see here, measures about 2 1/4 of the actual cutting edge, and this is the non-serrated version. Here's what it looks like on one side, and then on the other side. Next up, we have this interesting tool. As you can see on the other side here, we do have the edge. So this looks like it is mainly for some sort of scraping function. But again, comment down below. I'd be really interested to hear what people say about this. I've never seen this item on a multi-tool before. So this is certainly usable for some sort of scraping with that edge there. And let's move on to the next item. Next up, you can see the Phillips head screwdriver. And this is another one of those items that does lock into place. Another close-up here. As is often the case with Phillips head screwdrivers on multi-tools or any small kind of tool that has multiple options, like a keychain tool, these are usually quite thin, so it's not the normal thickness of a Phillips head screwdriver. But this does lock into place. As you can see, I'm pushing down on it. When I release it with this button or this portion of the tool, it will fold down into place. Last up here, we have the can opener and bottle opener. And this is just a little tip, but if you haven't ever used one of these, it's definitely a good thing to practice on, because the first time I used this, probably 15 years ago on my Swiss Army knife, it took me a while to figure out how to exactly operate it. So just keep that in mind. If you've never used one, try it at home when you're opening up a can of soup before you get out into the woods and need it. So we fold that one back in, and here's again what your multi-tool, just place it down here, what it looks like when all the items and the tools inside are put away. Two final things to share here. First, I'll say I haven't had a ton of time to actually use this multi-tool, so I'll be reporting back into you over the next handful of months to let you know how it works, how it holds up. The second thing I'll say is if you go over to Schrade's website, you'll see that they have a large variety of different items. They have some multi-tools, they have axes, they have bolos, they have lots of knives, but you'll notice that they don't carry a ton of multi-tools because they're not trying to market themselves as primarily a multi-tool company. They're very diverse in what they carry and they market. Contrast that with a company like, say, Leatherman, which makes dozens and dozens of different sizes and types of multi-tools. So for most people, when it comes to a multi-tool, one of the key factors are the actual tools that are included in the multi-tool. So if you like what Schrade has to offer in their multi-tools built into the actual tool, then you'll probably be happy with it, and you should be happy with the price point because it's around $20 or so. If you're looking for very specific tools or a specific setup, for your multi-tool, then you may have to look somewhere else. But right now, for what they offer in these tools, as you saw, a lot of them are quite usable and a lot of them are pretty standard for multi-tools, and then they do have some interesting items included. So I'll test those out and see how they work for me. If I use them a lot, if I use them a little, I'll certainly let you know. So thus far, I've been pretty impressed with the stuff that I've used from Schrade, particularly when it comes to their fixed blades. I like a lot of their fixed blades. They're pretty solid, especially for the price point. So I expect this item to hold up quite well also. All right, that's it for the Schrade Tough Tool Multi-Tool. Thanks for checking out the review. Please subscribe to Everyday Tactical Vids. Please like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, check us out on Tumblr. Take care.